thank you so much for joining this video series by the Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University. I'm sure there'll be a lot of students and their parents will be watching this video. So it would be great if you could please start by introducing yourself, give us a sense about what you're currently doing, how have you been in the BPM industry for how long?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, first of all. Yes, with the BPM industry, if you ask me, I have completed recently 14 years with this industry. I started when I was just a kid. I was just a science graduate. I joined this company called Genpact, and I stayed there for almost 11 years of my career with Genpact. I started with a simple associate job, wherein I was into a process which was more of a banking process. Obviously, I cannot reveal the name of the process, but then in this banking process, we were supposed to go ahead and call US customers. It was basically a calling process. I used to call US customers who were due or delinquent on their credit cards, wherein we have to go ahead and collect payments from them over the phone. And eventually I performed well and I grew up the ladder, wherein I got multiple promotions throughout the role. I got into a team lead role wherein I was managing the entire team end to end. I was responsible to take care of all their SLAs, KPIs, their attrition, all those things that is required for a team handling, from a team handling perspective, right? Similarly, if you talk about when I moved to a different job role, not exactly a different job basically, but within the team, I was asked to go ahead and take up a training role. So I said, why not? Let's explore. Because I somehow believe that everybody in this organization or in the BPM role will have some or the other skill set, right? Or they have common skill set. But for you to stand out from the common skill set, you have to outperform yourself. You have to do something different. So I keep on doing some kind of other certifications. I keep on doing something new, something interesting, which ensured that I am there at the limelight always and getting some or the other promotion quickly and getting noticed within the team. So yes, I took up the training role. I started with domain trainings. I have trained like thousands of batches. I don't even remember. I have forgotten the count now.
So when did this happen? When did you move from, this entire BPM specific role to this training role? Are you currently also in this role? Are you still with the same company or have you changed?
No, I changed. This was with Genpact. I am just talking about. And then I moved to Tata. So with Genpact, I got into training. Then I got myself certified into voice and accent certification. So just not domain. Now I am eligible to go ahead and take voice and accent trainings as well. Then I got myself certified into leadership training. So I started taking different set of trainings. Then I got myself certified into Lean and Six Sigma, which is more of a quality job role, if you ask me. So these certifications has opened multiple horizons for me. So I had 2-3 different set of roles. I was okay to go ahead and do an operations role, which obviously I was doing. I was okay and can be a great fit in the training role. I can be a great fit in the process or compliance, process excellence role. I can be a great fit for the transitions role, because after the next promotion, I was offered transition. So I was handling all end to end of the transition, starting from RFI to the solutioning piece of it, wherein we hand over the entire lot to the operations for a steady go stage. So that's one journey with Genpact. Then I was offered another role with Tata. Tata was establishing their entire new BCG plan at Hyderabad, because they were only at Mumbai. So they were given me a different role altogether, wherein I have to transition teams, starting with sales, customer service, retention, chat, email, all the processes. So first I learned the entire insurance processes. There were like 37 to 39 different kind of insurance. So you learn all the terminologies, you learn all the do's and don'ts, exclusions, inclusions. And then I trained these employees in different processes. Once they went to the floor, I ensured that I'm responsible for the quality management as well. Obviously, I had a team to go ahead and take care of it. I was taking care of the team. then I was offered a role in terms of managing all these portfolios end to end. So which obviously I went ahead and did, wherein I identified a lot of ideas as a Lean and a Six Sigma, which was converted into a project and a GB project. And while I was certified with Genpact as a Lean and Six Sigma person, I was also getting my certification with Tata. And then mind map happened to happen, which was like really good. They offered me a great role, which was customer learning solutions leader, wherein I take care of end-to-end learning, be it be domain training, be it be digital learning, be it be any tool training or any kind of e-learning or a content development. Our team is responsible to go ahead and take care of all of it. We have multiple partners like Genpact, Accenture, WNS, EXL. I mean, all the big players in the market, we are currently working with, Cognizant for that matter. So yes, currently I am with MindMap, and I'm also working with Delhi University to develop one of their graduation courses. So that's really great and different, and something exciting for the students also. That's what I feel.
That's great to hear. So I see you've taken up multiple hats at different times of your career. You've done so much different work. I'm sure jitna aap isko easy sound kara rahe, it will not be that easy, right? There must be its challenges of their own. Just to understand, like some of these questions would be there in the students' minds, obviously, that a lot of them join as associates in different companies, whether it's Genpact, whether it's somewhere else. Is there enough career growth like yourself to rise up the ranks and do different things? Is there sufficient opportunity available in the sector to do that? Any thoughts about that?
A lot, if you ask me. There are a variety of roles for you. If you go ahead and do this particular BPM course that we are designing, and trust me, with my experience and a lot of other members who are there, who are helping us in developing these courses, with their experience, we are coming up with every small bit of topics that is important for you to go ahead and learn, and which will help you fetch a role within this particular industry. I'll tell you for a very simple reason. I am simple science graduate, right? When I got this job as a campus selection, I came to the office. I was trained for let's say 2-3 months, and then I have to give examination. Once I clear, that's when I went to the floor. And even on the different stages of life, we have to learn, because you have to keep upskilling. That's something you have to keep on doing, otherwise you will be lagging behind, right? But having said that, the course that we are designing here, you will have elements of customer experience, you have elements of IT for that matter, you have elements of finance and accounting, you have little bit of flavor of FP&A as well. You have elements wherein we will also train you about Lean and Six Sigma. You have some elements where we will take extensive classes on Excel or other macros training, for example. So this will help you fetch multiple roles. Just not think about the customer service role, or probably a F&A associate role, or a FP&A role, or a content editor role, or for that matter, you can also get into some kind of data management role, because we will be also training you about Excel and macros and all other stuff, right? So this particular course is opening multiple options. Now you have the options to go ahead and check, okay, I have 10 different roles with me. Now this is on to me, because I have knowledge of all of it, and I will go ahead and take care of any of, or pick and choose. It's like आपको एक dinner के लिए लेके जाया जाता है, right? Lavish dinner, and so many things are there. A buffet is laid out, and you just have to pick whatever you feel like, right? So that's exactly the same scenario with the students. So yeah, a lot of things has been added, and as you said, it's not easy throughout the journey. 14 years, though it seems like, okay, it's just 14 years, but in 14 years, every year there is a struggle, because you have to stand out. As I said earlier, you have to keep on doing something different. With this particular course, I would also suggest to add a flavor of some other certifications as well to the students. That would be my suggestion, because that will make you stand out, right? 10 people going with the BPM certification, everyone, or let's say I am the HR, I'll say, okay, BPM pass out, BPM pass out, BPM pass out, BPM. Great. BPM pass out with, let's say, AIML course. BPM pass out with, let's say, RPA course will stand out, right? So that flavor is always important for you to make yourself stand out from the crowd.
Right. No, I think that's wonderful to hear that, one course can open up so many opportunities for students, and the students can choose to, even further study or get further certifications and improve their chances of getting into the industry of their choice. But again, just to bring you back about, your initial days when you started off, jab aap associate the and you started off in GenPat, I'm sure, it's a little challenging, it's a little daunting. Any particular things that you remember, that you really struggled with maybe, or some things that some projects maybe that you worked on that's really excited you? As you were mentioning, you were talking to US clients, also managing so many relations. Any particular thing that particularly stands out in your memory that this was very exciting when I was doing it, or this was very challenging when
Yes. So while I was an associate, we were not given any projects. If you ask me, it was more of a customer interaction, and if you are giving a wow factor to the customer, that's when you are an achiever, right? But post that, when I got into a team leader role, I was given a project which is like a compliance training that everybody has to go through, right? Earlier, what used to happen, because there was a compliance leader who will take a classroom training. So there were a lot of things that were involved, right? We have to block a calendar, the time should be available, we ensure the room availability has to be there, the projector and all other stuff, the logistics has to be correct, right? And the leader will come and just take the session and leave. But then it was occupying, just for 1 hour session, it was actually occupying a lot of time for the preparation, and towards the end also, when you send the email and get an approval, only then you can start a training. Otherwise you cannot go ahead and start a domain training for the new hires, right? So that's when I proposed that why not make it a e-learning module. At that point in time, e-learning or self-learning was not that much at a hype. Especially it came during these last 4-5 years, and more during the COVID times. That's what I feel, right? So this was something which I proposed, and everybody really liked the idea. This was quite challenging. Trust me, it was not a easy cakewalk for me. I have to take approval from all the compliance leaders. I have to take approval from all the operation leaders. I have to take approval from the US leader as well. So there were 4 or 5 leaders under compliance, 4 or 5 operations, 2 or 3 US leaders. Now imagine every time I'm explaining everything in detail to all the leaders to get the acceptance, right? And there were a lot of to and fro's, communications happening. Then they might come up with another law. They say, okay, these things cannot go online. This is restricted. You know how client environment is more restricted. Nowadays, they have eased it out. But then, yes, at that point in time, it was quite tough. So after taking all the approvals, the bigger challenge was I designing the course, getting the right questionnaire, which has to be asked to the participants, setting up and taking the approval, what would be the passing percentage, because at that point, nowadays the industry standard is 80%. That time we were also accepting like 70% also is a pass. After doing all these things, then getting into a vendor, ensuring they develop the course, we doing the approval, and every time even a small click button is incorrect or incorrectly placed, the entire stuff has to be redone, right? So it's really not easy. Eventually it took almost 4 months, if you ask me, 3.5 months to complete the entire project. After completing, now sending these files to everybody, they will go through it, they will evaluate, they will give their feedback. Then the launch date came, and right on the launch date, what happened is it is just not playing, because we have pushed those Scrum files, we have ensured, we have tried, tested, UAT, everything is done and everything was fine. Nothing happened. But the first person logs in and starts the video, it's not starting. So it's a very big launch that happened, and we really struggled. Then we realized that there was an error from the IT. Lot of escalation happened within 1 hour of time. you just can't imagine the kind of escalations happen. But it was fixed. But for that 1 hour, my heart was just pumping out because it was my 4 months of work and a lot of struggle that I have done. And if you ask me about this project, why this is so close, because this is what I thought. This is what I designed. This was my baby. This is what I wanted people to go ahead and go through, because that time nobody ever thought of doing a e-learning course, right? So, and I really felt proud because till date, with the process, with that banking process, everybody goes to that particular portal and do the course, and it says designed by Neelam Pandey. So it gives you some kind of pride, right? Because this is still my baby and they haven't changed the name.
Talking about this project, I'm sure it's very close to your heart as well. And great to see, right? So even just 2-3 years down the line where you actually ended up in a position as a team leader, you get so much responsibility. You're in charge of designing and executing a full project end to end, and then actually, reaping the fruits of your hard work. So really, kudos to you, and really happy to see this. I think our students will also find this very inspirational. And just to take it forward, agar koi aaj class 12 mein hai and they actually are looking at this, I'm sure they have so many questions. There's so many streams which are up for them. Any particular advice to a class 12 student who's actually making a decision, कि why should I join BPM over some other course? Why should they look into this industry? And ऐसी कौन सी skills हैं जो उनमें होनी चाहिए, right? That make them a right fit for this industry. I think that is what a lot of students would want to know about. So it would be great if you can shed some light and your experience about this as well.
I'll tell you, because BPM industry is growing and growing immensely. So the first thing is that, will this job that you are taking up will survive in the future? The answer is yes. So you should go for it. Point number 2, this particular industry will give you immense growth. When I talk about growth, it is not just horizontally, but also vertically, right? So when you are getting a lot of growth, why not go for an industry wherein you can excel yourself? And to get into the industry, if you ask me, you really don't have to become a rocket scientist, right? You just need to know the nuances of the industry. You need to know what is there laid out, what is there in the market, what is there, the industry standards currently. And then you learn, and our course obviously is providing a lot of it. So once you go through it, you will realize that you are the right fit for the industry. Why will you go ahead and choose an industry, choose for an industry, for example, the industry which is not booming currently? Because there are a lot of automation happening, if you ask me. And automation is something which is, now people are taking it differently, because if there is an automation, people feel that the jobs are going away, which is not the case. Right? Automation is something which will give you opportunities to go ahead and work on something else, not the one or the tedious job that you were doing or the chronological job that you were doing at that point in time, right? So it's important for you to learn these things, and you really don't have to be like super intelligent or a geeky guy to just get into this industry, or you don't have to be like, mera beta to engineer banega. so that won't happen, right? It's your, everybody in the world will obviously not become a doctor or an engineer, right? There are bankers, there are different people, there are, let's say these BPM industry, for that example, right? They will give you so much of growth which you can't even imagine. For that matter, if you ask me, I started with as little salary as maybe like 7,500. And with the 14 years, you just can't imagine the kind of, salary that I'm getting. But having said that, that was the time which was 14 years ago. Now you doing that BPM course, getting into the BPM industry, obviously you start with a much better salary, right? And if you perform well, if you stand out from the crowd, you will get your promotions quickly. You will be able to make a name for yourself. You will be able to make some or create something different for the industry. You will be a person who would be a giver, not the one who would be taking something from the industry. But obviously it's a give and take relationship whenever you get into the role. So, but you will be in a position wherein you never know, one of our students will be someday sitting right where I'm sitting, and you must be interviewing one of them, right? So yeah, so it can happen. Anything can happen.
True, that's very true. Anything can happen. I think there's so many opportunities out there. If you just put your heart and mind to it, you can achieve the world, right?
Right.
Thank you so much, Neelam, for taking our time for this. I think all of our students and their parents will be watching this video. They'll be super excited with your journey, super inspired as well. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of students who would be wanting to, follow your footsteps and join in this particular course. Thank you so much for answering these questions and being so candid. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ishan, for giving this opportunity. And I hope my interview will give some kind of ideas or open more horizons for the students to opt for this particular course, because this is something that they should just go for it.
Thank you so much, Neelam. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.